Good afternoon and a very warm welcome back to the Tractor Arena in Chelyabinsk. It's day 3 of the World Judo Championships, and a very warm welcome to my co-commentator Annette Berm.
Hello Sheldon, hello everybody.
Well, we've got quite a lineup for you, and we're going to start with an all-European matchup. Sanne Verhagen of the Netherlands faces Sabrina Filzmörser of Austria. It'll be Sanne Verhagen in white and Sabrina Filzmörser in blue. What do you know about these two? Let's start with...
Yes, Sanne Verhagen?
Oh, hang on a second.
Yes, I will.
This is the lineup. Sanne Verhagen faces Sabrina Filzmörser. That's on mat 2. We've got the contest on mat 3. Rafaela Silva of Brazil faces Fabienne Kocha of Switzerland. And when we say what do we know about these two, well, you're about to know that Rafaela Silva is the current world champion. Okay, yeah. So minor hiccup to start the day off. Fabienne Kocha, young Swiss fighter. What an opportunity here. Incredible day that she's had to put her in this position where she's, you know, a fight away from a world championship medal.
Yes.
Albeit that in order to get to that point, she's got to defeat the reigning world champion, Annette Berm.
That's right. And we just speak about the reigning world champion, Rafaela Silva. This year, she wasn't able to retain her title, but she is still able to get at the podium. In this rapid charge round, the winner is coming into the next fight, and then he can fight for the medal. So one fight apart from the podium.
Just the one loss for Silva today, but that consigned her to the repechage. And 1-2 for Fabienne Kocha, but you know where she is at the moment is a real achievement.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of the last fighter from Switzerland. As she goes over there, that'll be Wazari.
Mm-hmm.
Big Harai Makikomi from Silva. I was trying to think of the last fighter from Switzerland, the last Swiss female fighter anyway, who had a go at this kind of level. I want to say Lena Guldi.
Yes.
It's quite a while ago.
Yeah.
But, going back to probably 2004 or something. I may be a bit disparaging to other Swiss fighters who've been in there in between, so my apologies if that's the case. Anyway, Silva leads by Wazari with 2:50 odd left to go. A place in the bronze medal match here for the winner. She's only 20 or 21.
Still so young.
Yeah, exactly. Mind you, so Silva.
Yeah.
Silva's young.
Yeah.
So two youngsters on the mat here.
Only a different kind of experience.
Yeah. I mean, Silva with so much more at the highest level than Fabienne Kocha, but strong in defense. The Swiss fighter managing to avoid getting caught. Couldn't get off this though. Had Kocha's left arm across the body, and that was what made it difficult to get off it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you changed just the sides from left to right, Kocha.
Neat, stayed off the danger area there.
Oh, that was a little bit too much from Silva. Over turned a little bit too much into that Uchimata.
Still well over a minute left to go. Couldn't come up with a good body position for the Sode. Had the sleeves there.
Absolutely, but the idea is so good.
Yeah.
2 lefties, and then you just change the sides for this Tsuri. But yeah, you need your hip in front, or your body in front of your opponent there.
See, she has been able to put some pressure on Silva, and as we were saying earlier on, you know, the world champion, she's still world champion for another 45 minutes or so.
Ooh. Committed enough with this outside technique.
Well, the leg work is okay. She just doesn't have the upper part of the body under control, and as a result of that, Silva is able to sit up in the technique, and she just ends up sitting up on her backside rather than going onto her back. That's what Kosher would have liked, but didn't have control of the top half.
She really puts the Brazilian under pressure now. But she can't come through with her own judo.
Last 20 seconds.
Yes.
Silva just blocking out there, prepared to take the drop when it comes.
She really causes her problems.
You can lip read German, you know what Kosher just said there. Wasn't very complimentary towards Silva's tactics.
Yeah.
First time with the drop Cernaghi, but was ineffective. Again, feet position, letting her down a little bit there. But it's Rafaela Silva who takes the contest. She goes into the repechage contest.
The winner on mat 3, white for Brazil, is Rafaela Silva. And on mat 2, white for the Netherlands, is both in the bronze medal contest for women under 57 kilos. As usual, we offer you the highlights on the screen.
That's when Fabienne Kosher was thinking about her own Makikomi effort, but it was slightly untidy. It wasn't well put together. As a result, it collapsed. But that's not a bad result for Fabienne Kosher. She had a good run and made a good effort of it.
So 7th in the end.
Coming up next, Dortsuren Sumia of Mongolia faces Telmo Monteiro of Portugal. A semi-final in the under 57 kilo category. What was Dortsuren's big win earlier on? Who did she give a bit of a shocker to? Rafaela Silva. That was a great contest. A group of Mongolians there, and watching on right in the center of that shot, Sanjagal Niamocha. One could reasonably have expected him to be battling it out for the medals, along with Hashpetar. Neither of the pair were able to make it that far. Dortsuren with the slightly copper-coloured hair at the moment. She's trying to rival my co-commentator with hair colour. Semi-final in the under 57 kilo category. Dortcherin in white, Montero in blue. Montero likes to score early and then hang on
Defense.
to the lead. After her win against Marty Malloy, I was chatting with someone who said that they were going to buy her a bicycle to help her to escape quicker from the mat, because all she did was score and run. Well, it's a tactic that a lot of players employ, and it's not unknown in other sports. You score and you hold on to the lead, and that's what Thelma Montero did. Some of the tactics in any sport, when one team becomes defensive, it can be unattractive.
It isn't, it's unattractive, but it isn't allowed. It's just inside the rules. First Judo now for the Mongolian.
Montero is persisting with the Marote Cernaghi effort, but not really getting into the best position. And a counter there from Dortcherin, I wonder.
Almost threw herself.
Yeah. There's the effort from Montero. No, she was already on the ground, so there's no chance of that. Just a little roll from the Mongolian on Montero.
Yeah, that's the problem with Thelma. She is a very, not overly defensive, but her body posture is in a position where she is almost on the ground. It makes it dangerous. It's dangerous then for being penalized for dropping down or being passive just. Sunigaeshi attempt. Hoppala. That wasn't so nice.
Nothing in it. She's had harder falls when she's warming up. And the thing is, she
both lost the grip, not only the Mongolian.
Exactly, and
pushed
she doesn't.
Her. It wasn't a push.
Exactly, she doesn't throw her; she lets go of her.
Yes, that's
so
okay.
yeah, there's nothing in it.
Like Okemi. Big outside technique, a little bit too far away.
Dortcherin is clever here. She won't get involved in Nevaza at all, but leave it alone. And Montero doesn't have that outlet. The other thing that it will do is it will make Montero look more like false attacks. Could be a step out here because it wasn't an attack.
That's right.
Dortcherin has got to be first to the attack, though.
She must be careful when she pushes her because of the Seonage, dropped Seonage from Montero. A minute and 20, and just a little Judo between both of them. There again, that was brilliant.
That was good.
That was good.
Well, there's no arguing the quality of the technique at the end. Montero really getting hold of Dorjsa in there. Throwing her Mongolian opponent for Ippon. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from that contest. We were talking about the Morote Seoinage, that she would persist with that, and that's what eventually did for Dorjsa. Well, Montero has 4 World Championship medals, but she's always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Yeah, yeah. Still
3 silvers
nice.
and a bronze. 3 silvers and a bronze.
Now she got the opportunity to get a gold medal. It's quite a nice collection.
In the final, she'll face Japan's Odaka Nae. We're getting ready for the contests in the under 73 kilo category now. And coming up will be the repechage contest in the under 73 kilo category. Rustam Orozhov of Azerbaijan faces Musa Magushkov of Russia. It'll be Orozhov in the white judogi, Magushkov in blue.
So Russia already got on the first day a silver medal with Beslan Mudranov. The second day with Natalia Kusyutina in the under 52 bronze medal. Then 2 medals in the category under 66 with Mikhail Polyaev and Kamal Khan Magomedov. Silver for Polyaev and bronze for Khan Magomedov. 4 medals there.
They got 2 bronze medals in Rio. So a real improvement already. But the big thing for them is Kusyutina picking up that bronze medal from the women's team. Okay, you can look at the improvements in the men, or that numbers, but in the colours of the medal. But to get a medal in that group that you had not medalled before, that's better.
Yeah, and still they are waiting for the really big fin.
Yeah.
Here they got a chance for the bronze. If Magushkov wins this fight, in the next fight he got a chance. But still for the really top.
We may see that tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah.
Magushkov not settled on a grip yet. Orozhov just stalking him a little bit. thought about Zamashiwaza, did Magushkov, but he got his feet caught up, and Orozhov wasn't quick enough to react as he was there. The minute that the feet got close, Orozhov was shaping for an Ojigari. Ojigari, Koichigari, I've seen Orozhov execute well. Got nice footwork. He's tall for 73 as well.
Yeah.
Magushkov wants to go inside on the lapel, but he's concerned about going for the grip and then giving up the sleeve and losing losing the chance.
Grip battle.
He's not comfortable there, Magushkov. See that it's the left hand that he wants to free up, and he's come up with a score. Orozhov lucky to get away with just the Yuko, but I think he's hurt.
Yeah, he had some tape there on the close to the ribs.
He's hurt.
Injured a little bit before. Yeah.
Because when he went down, he didn't protect himself by turning over. The minute you go down, you want to protect yourself by turning over. He couldn't, and then as Magushkov went to settle into the hold, there was no resistance from him at all. He was hurt just as soon as he hit the deck. And he's had to tap out as well. Magushkov isn't hanging around.
No. Preparing for his last contest for today, later on, for the bronze medal.
One more to go for Musa Magushkov. Well, we had Beslan Madranov. We had a chat with Beslan Madranov. We may get a chat with Musa Magushkov at some stage.
We need to. There you saw the face.
Yeah.
No defense.
And he's holding on to that left side of the body. See, and Magushkov looked, he feels the tap, and then he looks at Orozhov as though, are you sure? He's surprised.
And he wanted to make sure that the referee says also Ippon.
Yeah.
Not to let him go earlier.
I'm not getting up too soon.
Yeah.
I'll make sure of this. Vitaly Makarov escorting Musa Magushkov out, and he comes from Chelyabinsk. Makarov.
That is perfect. Yeah.
So he's on home ground.
Yeah.
Cheering section with a drummer in there. Otto Kneitinger is in the crowd.
Yeah.
Along with Franco Capoletti. And that was the moment there. Yeah. Left side on the ribs.
Hurt, yeah.
And oof.
If
it didn't hurt before, it's going to hurt now, especially when that left foot of Magushkov sits down and all the weight, all 73 kilos, gets pressed into you. And that's the side where he's hurt, on the left side. Magushkov can't know that. He's just doing what he's supposed to do.
And it wasn't unfair. He just got an injury,
just injured
and
in that area.
he tapped, and that's okay. That's okay.
Well, in the absence of Mansour Isayev, the Olympic champion at under 73 kilos, the Russians have been able to put in a good replacement in Musa Magushkov. I mean, there were others, but Magushkov was chosen and it's not a bad pick up to this point because he's in the bronze medal match. But it'll be a really good pick if he manages to take it. Another packed crowd here in the Traktor Arena in Chelyabinsk. There are a sprinkling of seats. Some of them are athletes' seats, and some of the seats for some volunteers. But you know, the money seats, the pay seats, sold out every day. Sold out. Former sport director, Hungarian sport director of the European Judo Union. He was around when I first got involved in judo. Putnik Balint. Really welcoming member of the EJU executive, and then the Olympic referee from Tunisia, Hedi Mershi, refereed at the Beijing Olympics. May have refereed one of your fights, Annette.
Could be. Some time ago.
Hopefully it'll be one that you won. But a really nice crowd. Lots of young people in and around the venue. They've got a park set up, a special park set up for the youngsters to come and have a go at judo. Most of them have done judo anyway, because it's an extremely popular sport here. And they've set a lot of marquees up, big tents with a lot of things going on, lots of activities as well. Nice that lots of families can come in. How many volunteers did they say? I've forgotten how many volunteers they said were involved, but plenty. And all speaking various languages. The former world champion on the right-hand side there in red, Munkbat Uransetseg, lost her under 48 kilo category title.
Yeah.
Well, coming up next, the semi-final in the under 73 kilo category, Nakaya Riki of Japan, and he faces Viktor Skvortov of the United Arab Emirates.
And it is Skvortov who sent the Russian Mugushkov in the rapid charge round in the quarter-final. He won against the Russian. And Nakaya Riki won against Urushov, the Azerbaijani we just saw, who was injured. There's the Japanese, white.
Well, Nakaya Riki comes out for this semi-final, and he'll be desperate. Well, both fighters are going to be desperate to win it, but Nakaya Riki will be desperate to overtake Ono Shohei, because Shohei won last year in Rio. We didn't have 2012 because we had the Olympic Games, but 2011, when we were in Paris, Nakaya Riki was world champion then. So he could regain his world title. Not with a start like that, though. Almost caught with the Diashibai. Must have been close to a score.
Yeah. I think so too. It looked like a Yuko. Can be lucky if they gave nothing.
Used to have a score called Coca. That would have been one. Skvortov showing danger right from the get-go. He's held him up anyway. He didn't go through with it.
And the Mate was already coming, but I love this combinations with this preparing techniques, ashivasas, and then you go into a big technique. So quick, like you just saw it from Nakaya.
Sharp Svortov, isn't he? You know, I mean,
Yes.
a lesser player is going to get involved in avoiding getting scored on anything. And Svortov blocked immediately. That door shut.
Yeah.
And Nakaya must be thinking, well, I'm going to go there in a hurry. You know, I've got to be careful. I can't attack him with the Sotemi-waza because he saw that coming. So next. And whilst you're thinking what you want to attack your opponent with, you've got to be careful of what they're thinking about attacking you with.
Yes.
So attack and defense balanced in the mind. That was really, really nice and low. Very, very low, right-sided Tayatoshi.
Yeah, Nakaya should stay with the classical Japanese judo, in which they are really brilliant. Don't need this Sotemi waza attempt.
Time ticking away. 2 minutes already off the clock. That was poor.
Yes.
Not going anywhere. It must have been a point at which Nakaya realised this is not going to happen and should have bailed earlier. He ended up going to his knees and nothing really came from it.
Yeah, but the idea wasn't bad because he had that one arm from Svortov and he wanted to go into the from the outside into the Tsurikomigoshi. It was a nice idea, but he just couldn't realize that.
Go on now. Nakaya manages to put one on the board. Problems for Svortov. Nakaya's still working on that arm. He's not out of it yet. He may be now, though. Good defense.
Absolutely, because the Japanese are incredibly good at Newaza. Most of them. That was a good defense from Svortov. Wonderful replay from the Yuko.
There's still something in this for Svortov. It's not gone yet. Single Yuko on the board. He hasn't given up a penalty. So it's nice and tight. But the man from the Emirates has got to come back with a score. Minute and a half left to go. Nakaya just took a break there, took a couple of breaths, and then thought, I'll throw something in. Why don't I throwing one of those useless Sotemi-waza efforts?
Yeah, when you compare it to classical judo, there are worlds in between.
It's chalk and cheese, isn't it? He just looks so poor compared to everything else that he does.
Maybe he wants to bring it down to the Newaza.
Well, he did have a little go at him before, and he was, you know, close to success. So it's probably in the back of his mind, if I can get Svortov down onto the ground, maybe I can work him there. And you know, I would like a bit of a breather here. Nakaya picks up a penalty for an overly defensive, negative gripping.
Yeah,
that was. Overly defensive is slightly different, but so negative gripping.
Yeah, well seen from the referee. This grip, and there again, going for the arm lock maybe.
See, the difficulty is Svortov doesn't want to be there.
No.
But he's like an octopus at the moment. He's coming from all angles. He really wants to keep Svortov down on the ground. But he's burnt another 30 seconds from the clock. So clever work from Nakaya. It's not the most attractive, but as I said with David McFall yesterday, they go in the book as wins. They don't say attractive win or unattractive win.
In the end, you only see the result. That's right.
Stuck in the corner. Both fighters penalised there. Okay, only the one. Mikhail picking up the penalty. Won't do any good in the end. Mikhail just giving him a little nudge at the end.
It's not necessary. So he's in the final.
A return then into a World Championship final for Nakaya Riki of Japan, defeating Viktor Svortov of the United Arab Emirates. And after the bow, a handshake and more cheers from the Japanese fans.
Yeah.
Big Komatsu group there. Nakaya Riki will face Hong Kuk-hyung of North Korea in the final, the Asian champion. Here's some highlights of that contest.
World Judo Championships in Chelyabinsk, Russia, with 637 judoka representing 110 nations. The next World Judo Championships will be held in Kazakhstan.
When we started the morning off, there were a couple of people that I said would be worth a look at as far as, you know, the dark horse or the banana skin, and we were saying that some people couldn't be referred to banana skin because they'd had these medals, and, you know, they'd won big medals themselves. Of course, you don't want to put someone like Marty Malloy in there, but she did trip up Matsumoto Kaori because the weight of expectation for the Japanese was so great, and they were talking in terms of an all-Japan final. Well, they did get 2 people into the final. The Japanese have got 2 people into the finals, but they're in different weight categories. So you've got 1 in the under 57 kilo category and 1 in the under 73 kilo category. The players that were lost were Matsumoto Kaori. She went out to Marty Malloy of the United States of America, and David McFall, if his memory serves him well, is going to tell us who knocked out Ono Shoei.
Ono Shoei was knocked out by Lee of Korea.
There you go, and Lee himself was then came unstuck, because there is a Korean in the final, but it's not a South Korean, it's a North Korean, the current Asian champion as well. So no slouch there, and it was Annette Burm who picked out Hong this morning as you know, one of her potential medal winners, and here he is.
Nice job, Annette.
In the final. Well, we kind of knew that there was danger there, because unlike some of the other North Korean fighters, we have seen him before. He has been, you know, out at internationals, and he's been successful. And the thing is, the Asians know him.
You know, he picked up steam all day. He was sort of the first few matches, he was sort of getting by very small scores, and then the last 2 or 3 rounds, he just exploded.
Yeah, he had one horrible one where he was just, was it against Tatalashvili, where he was, I'd have to see, I'd have to look back, because it wasn't, we didn't see all of them, but he really came close to being drained physically at the end. I think it probably was Tatalashvili. And then in the under 57 kilo category, I picked out 2. Nora Zhakova, who's representing the IJF here, but she went out on a Shido. It was a real narrow loss for her. And the other one was Sanne Verhagen of the Netherlands. I wish I'd got involved in that fantasy judo thing. I could have earned a few points there, because Sanne Verhagen is in the bronze medal match. She faces Dorj Surin Sumia. That's not a bad shout.
Well, not to beat my chest too much here, but I thought that the expectations of Matsumoto Kaori were too much based upon her recent contest results, and I picked Udaka.
And I think that's a good pick. I also think that you're right with regard to the nature of the loss, because we can talk about why someone loses, and David's point earlier on was that she wasn't, you know, she just didn't have sufficient enough preparation.
You know, someone on the internet asked me, because I said that she was rusty.
Yeah.
And basically
rusty.
Someone said, what do you mean rusty? She's been competing. And I said, no. What happened was, after the Olympics, she took 6 months off to do promotion for the Japanese Olympic Committee, because she was the only gold medal winner for the judo team. Then she came back. She trained too hard, trying to come back too quickly. She gets injured. She has to go to the knife. She gets surgery. Puts back another 6 months. Then when she comes back, she barely beats Odaka in the Kodokan Cup. I mean, I think it was actually a penalty. This was not the Matsumoto Kaori that we saw in London, or coming up to London. Then they put her in Dusseldorf, but they didn't put her in Paris, where I thought the competition was much stiffer, much tougher. And then she bombed out in the first round of the Japan Selects against Otomo. I think she was not really ready for this level of competition.
I think the description, rusty, is perfect, not least of all because one international outing in February of this year is insufficient preparation internationally. That's not gonna cut it. And I think ring rusty, might be what we're looking at. She's mat rusty.
I will say though, Marty Molloy, great dashi barai to set up the Kansetsuwaza. Really heads up, fantastic play. Unfortunately, she got caught in the next round.
Coming up next, the first of the bronze medal matches in the under 57 kilo category. Sanne Verhagen of the Netherlands faces Dorj Surin Sumia of Mongolia. It's been a couple of years since, well, a few years since Sanne Verhagen was incorrectly entered in the weight category in the Junior World Championships. They got the weight category wrong for her. She gave a great performance there, fighting out of her weight. And at that point, I said, if you can do that at this weight early on, when it's not even your weight, you want to get into this weight quickly. She subsequently moved up, and here she is in the bronze medal match at the World Championships.
Great story.
Yeah, I've got a few. She's a good girl. She came and did some commentary with us after that, because you didn't have anything else to do. Verhagen in white, Dorj Surin in blue.
Dorj Surin getting busy early here, going for the Ashiwaza.
She's got better all-round judo than Verhagen. She's got more weapons, I think they call them. You want to be able to have a few directions from which to come at your opponent.
At least one forward and one back, and hopefully something on the tatami as well.
Well, Verhagen has got a really nice Marotte Sernagi. Hasn't got the second hand on yet. Also the Sode Tsurekomi Goshi.
And she went in there with some Uchimata. It's a little bit too far out. And slipped a bit.
Shido against the Mongolian. I was going to say they haven't had the best of times yet, and that's when you really don't take into consideration the power of that gold medal win on the opening day from Ganbat Bolbatar.
Yes.
Because
expectations
Davidov looked flat.
Yes.
Dashtova looked flat. We lost Munkbatar. Oh, sorry, Munkbat Uransatsik and Munkbatar, and then we lost both the men today, Hashbatar and Sanjagal. So overall, they'll be disappointed, but from the point of view of collecting a gold medal, I think they'll be absolutely delighted to have another world champion. Verhagen continuing to work on the ground. Andreas Hempel is one of the referees who gives you the time. You keep working, you know.
Certainly give her plenty of time there.
You can go there. Vostrikov is another one, and Uano Babiuk, Gary Takamoto. Those referees who, if you're a Nevaza specialist and you come to the mat, you see them, they think, oh.
Yes. There you go.
I'll take that, yeah. There you go. We were talking about that technique. She gets really, really low, in nice and tight, stays close to her opponent in the execution. And there's Yuko on the board for Sanna Verhagen. Here, there it is. See, the footwork is odd. It's not a full-blooded jump in. There's a lot of movement of the top half to get in there close. Nevertheless, she brings it off, and she just avoided getting caught there as well. There's a moment when there was a potential turnover in store for Dortzuren, but Verhagen dodged that. Less than a minute to go now.
You know, when I was watching those repechage in the semifinals, sitting on the side, and I was really blown away by the amount of noise that this crowd has been able to produce. Of course, with the Russians like Mogoshkov, but you know what? They cheered almost as loud for Lee when he won, and they just appreciate good judo. Really, really nice crowd here today.
Calls for a Yuko for that, but I don't think it's going to happen. No, onto her front. Last 20 seconds.
White up just by the Yuko. There we go.
Well,
Verhagen.
a bronze medal to Sanna Verhagen of the Netherlands. A great effort from her. And now we're going to have Annette Böhm join David McFord.
This is just a super job there, finishing things up. Really good match. Welcome back, Annette.
Hello. Oh, that was really fantastic from Verhagen.
That's right, that's right. Good job there against the tough Mongolian.
She is a really fighter. She really deserves this bronze medal.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, this next bronze medal matchup, this is going to be a battle.
Oh, yes. So Rafaela Silva and Pavia, Autumn Pavia, two experienced fighters we're going to see soon.
This is, I don't know if I've actually watched these two live. Really, really looking forward to this. South America, European battle. We're just seeing the highlights here.
Yeah.
Good job to hold off the Mongolian. They get things set up for Silva and Pavia. So the Pavia match against Udaka was really interesting because we remarked how the Japanese have a problem with Pavia's right hand coming up and taking the deep grip and then basically pulling to the hip and they do nothing. Well, apparently Udaka got the memo and she was able to fight off that right hand for a good part of the match. There was at one point where Pavia got a Makikomi that could have equaled Udaka's Yuko, but it didn't score, and so Udaka got away with the Yuko. She had two penalties up there, but it was a close match.
Yeah.
And in fact, that was almost the same score which Nakaya Riki won his match. It was he got a Yuko, but he had two penalties against himself.
Yes, I remember that fight. Yeah.
Very interesting that both Japanese got in by virtually the same score. But Silva versus Pavia. Who do you have your money on?
So I just checked some things before. Rafaela Silva, she's still the current world champion.
Yes, she is. For a few more moments.
For a few more moments, that's right. For Pavia, it would be the first medal at the World Championships at all.
Really? Wow, that's surprising. I mean, we always see her in the running.
Yeah.
So first, okay.
She collected some medals at the European Championships, 2 gold. But I think for the worlds in Rio last year she became 5th.
Okay.
So
she's going to try to improve upon that 5th place.
Yeah.
See if she can get herself a 3rd place.
Exactly. So my money, yeah, you asked me where my money are. I think I'm with Autumn Pavia because Rafaela Silva before she wasn't in the strongest condition. I know her.
Okay.
But maybe, you know, then you have a short break in the during your contests. Sometimes something changes. Then also your fighting spirit changes.
All right.
So maybe, yeah, we will see.
I'll tell you what, to make things interesting, I'll go with Silva.
All right.
I'll throw 100 rubles up there. There's a 10. I'm not going to throw 1,000. See what's happening. I don't know, 100 rubles. Maybe I can get a small beer with that. Okay. So the money's on the table. I'll trust you, Annette. Okay. All right.
Great.
Let me see here. We've already got 1 score on the board for Silva, so my money might be safe.
Yeah.
Actually, I'd like to see Pavia win.
Yeah.
It would be nice to see her on the medal stand, but Rafaela, she's worked hard all day.
Yeah. The Yuko for Silva from this action we just saw at the edge of the mat.
Now you can see how Silva is trying to fight off the right hand of Pavia. She's coming in underneath the armpit there. Interesting grip. So they know, or they should know, that the right hand of Pavia is always dangerous. And Silva does a good job of slipping off that Ippon Seanagi attempt.
Maybe a better grip would be a little bit higher up at the collar. Oh, Chimata attempt there from Rafaela. The sleeve.
Yeah. I'm just watching the right hand. She started off in the armpit, and now Rafaela is moving that hand a little bit down toward the side, almost trying to get around the back of Pavia. You can see she's driving with her elbow, trying to drive the body across. No stoppage. Second guess. So right now, Silva with a Yuko and also with a penalty. Nothing in the board yet for Pavia.
Oh, Chimata.
Oh, that looks really nice. That's going to score a Yuko. So she ties it up.
That was a good entry.
I was going to say the same thing. Nice entry.
She didn't.
There she is there. Just a more pull. Just
until
more
the
pull
end.
With that sleeve, right?
Yeah. Didn't lose her grip in this moment. Was committed enough until they landed on the ground.
Good footwork to get those hips in there.
And because of this one Judo Silva got, it's Pavia who's leading.
Yeah, the money's going over to your side of the
A little bit
table.
to my in front of me, yeah.
Come on, Rafaela. Gotta buy some more baby shoes.
Oh, no, it's balanced.
Oh, there we go, see?
The Judo there.
The money goes back toward the center. All right. See that leg, Pavia's just kicking up, and Silva kicks it the same way. It looks like she was looking for maybe Tayatoshi there. She's really low.
Yep.
So a Yuko apiece, a penalty apiece.
Change the sides.
Yeah, when she goes in for that Seanage, Silva's able to slip off over the other shoulder. So that's not working out for her. I would. There we go. That's a good shot of that.
The thing is, Pavia must continuing. When she once goes into,
Yeah, he doesn't slide
come
through.
out. Yeah.
You know, if you watch like Ibino when he's doing the Seanage and his buttocks go all the way through the buttocks of the hips of the other person. He gets so deep with those hips.
Coach Makikomi.
Gets the Yuko.
I think the referees.
I've paid the referee. I paid the referee ahead of time. He's gonna get his 50 rubles.
Yeah, the referee commission. Just have a look. They took it back. It was close to a score.
That referee's not earning the 50 rubles that I gave him before this match. All right.
It was a good attack, but now, because it's absolutely balanced,
that's right. Golden score.
we see a golden score. And the first score, or the next penalty,
That's right.
will be the decision who is going to win a bronze medal here. Brazilian coach giving some big advices to Rafaela Silva.
Yeah, she's quite dramatic. He tried to say hot Latin blood, but look at them coming out. Pavia comes out very, very hard.
Yeah. Uchimata can't come through with that. If she loses her grip too early, then she's been in danger because of the counter from Silva. We saw it at the beginning. Oh! And there's a counter from Pavia. Silva was attacking with this half Kochi Makikomi, let's say that, or Kosodokake from the inside. But a good reaction there from from Pavia.
I was getting pretty nervous there.
Yeah.
All right, Silva's got to be careful there. That was looking a little ugly there. That can earn her a penalty. Lighten my wallet. Oh, that wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. The ending looked a little ugly, but the entry wasn't too bad.
Lost the grip there.
Well, she just sort of threw the leg over and tried to bridge that distance, and that was a bridge too far.
So the time is endless. Is endless. Or seems for them. Look, 50 seconds.
It's been a long
already.
day to get into this last match. Then have to go into golden time. Both of them trying to hook up the legs. Pavia always plays that game of trying to get her opponent to the edge and then trying to make them look like they're walking out. Very, very crafty.
Oh, she missed that. But it is an action, it is an attack. She just missed that leg from Pavia. It wasn't a false attack.
Yeah, it didn't look pretty, but it wasn't like she was doing a false attack. Pavia drops in for that Sanagi again. And Silva slips off the back. They're asking to tidy up. I'm wondering whether this is a indication.
Okay.
There you go, spend it well.
But I must say the action before Silva attacked, she missed her opponent with this Kochi Magikomi.
Congratulations to Pavia.
Oh, yeah.
Happy for her. Gets herself on the medal stand for the first time in the World Championships.
Pavia, yeah. Happy girl. And a happy family. She got so many sisters and brothers, yeah.
They're probably jumping around.
The Grand Slam in Paris, they all watched her. And we saw her, them.
Well, it just seems how long she's been around, and like I said, I'm surprised that she hadn't medaled yet in the World Championships. And now she's got something.
Yeah.
Show for the effort. Good look there. That was for the Yuko. Another look at that. Yeah, it was a good look again, the way she got her feet in there and got her hips in there. Good entry, just couldn't spin it around, but in the end she gutted out the win. There we go. Beautiful smile. And that brings us to our final in the under 57 kilogram category. We talked about Udaka, but we didn't really sing the praises of Monteiro, who took out Marty Malloy, who took out Matsumoto.
What a draw, and what a pool that was.
Exactly.
Crazy one.
Of those three names, Monteiro was not the first name on my lips. And yeah. comes Udaka Nae. Japanese fans getting pumped up.
And Thelma Montero, Portuguese.
You know, for either one of these, this would be a really special win.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. I hope this match shows that. I don't want someone to win the world championship on some sort of stupid error. I hope they both give it their best, and we finish it with a nice ippon for the win.
So Thelma already won a few medals at World Championships, but never a gold. Could change that now.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Yeah. Fan club for Udaka.
Yep, the Komatsu crowd. And I think she actually fights her Komatsu. They got to be tickled pink. Yep, she fights for Komatsu in Japan, so they got to be tickled pink. Took a shot in the eye, or maybe a little bit of blood.
Komatsu is famous in Japan.
Just a bit, just a bit. Like Caterpillar. Caterpillars are pretty well known. I guess it was a contact, perhaps?
The thing is, you waited so long for the final fight, and then within the first minute you have to wait again.
Here we go.
Yes, need to keep your focus on. Wasn't the right posture for this drop Zeonage.
Udaka's kind of stalking Montero. Montero is waiting and then just sort of attacking.
Oh, Chigari attempt.
Big, big lunge. And White picks up the first penalty. Interesting.
Oh, she got some really problems with her leg.
I think earlier she had
yes.
issues with her leg. I think it was during some osaikomi or something like that.
Yes.
So she gets it jammed up there. And
it's nothing new. As you said, David, she already had it.
now this is interesting.
Before.
That was good sportsmanship because I think Udaka noticed that she was hurt or something like that, and before the referee called mate, she backed off.
Yes.
Versus the instinct would be to go for the newaza.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now she'll go for some newaza. See, this is an awkward position to try to get a turnover. I don't think she's going to manage it. But instead she goes for the arm. I don't think she's going to pry that out.
Looking for the arm lock there. Good defense.
Montero just said, so she's going to engage in a little newaza.
There's a little Judo for Udaka. Makes a difference here. Montero is leading.
Udaka's got to start making some attacks here.
Goji.
She's been conservative, and we've seen a lot more attacks from Montero.
She broke up early, Montero. She got the right feeling for this Ashiwasa, so she can be confident when she attacks with Ashiwasa. A half-hearted Uchimata attack.
But it still looks like an attack, and we're just not seeing this from Udaka.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
I think
that makes
another
a difference.
attack, and Udaka's going to get clipped for another penalty. I know you want to wait and get the perfect.
Double. Schwabzionage.
Yeah, you want to wait and get the perfect grip, but the perfect grip isn't going to come, and you got to sit there, and if you're not attacking, you're going to get nicked for it.
Sumigaishi attempt. A little bit more to keep Udaka busy than to throw her.
Yeah.
She was
Well,
at the
did
outside.
it look like Udaka was looking for Ashiwasa there, maybe?
It could be. There again. Oh, that doesn't look offensive enough.
We saw in earlier matches Udaka has a nice Osoto.
Oh, yes. And look, now Montero got the Shido.
It's evened up with less than a minute.
Yeah.
Well, 30
balanced
seconds,
again.
right?
Could be another golden score if nothing happened, nothing more happened.
Still waiting for a big attack from Udaka. There she had a look there for a second.
So I think Montero feels that Udaka got the good grip now for attacking.
And then
And
she's
the
doing the false.
Yes. And she attacks first, but she must be careful not being penalized for false attack, yeah. Half-hearted.
All right, we're going to hit the golden score here. So that wasn't a particularly attractive
Yeah.
opening.
At the beginning, the first sheet over for Udaka, I think it was for passivity. Montero got a lot of power, enough of power. Now, after 4 minutes, it will be more difficult to cause Udaka another Shido. She must come through with a technique.
Yes, she's got to start coming through the technique.
That will be hard.
Nothing risk, nothing gain, and she's got to risk something, and she's got to do it quickly. Because she's not even engaging in Newaza. I don't know why. I don't recall seeing Montero doing a lot on the ground.
Yeah.
Udaka looking for the turnover, and now she's looking for the Juji Katame. Let's see if she's got that arm out there. It looks like it's tied up. I don't think it's happening.
Yeah. Can't get the arm out there. Stent. She was looking for the outside.
That was a good look. Finally,
Yeah.
we get something from Udaka. Positioning wasn't great, but at least she got the leg up and started to drive a little bit. Maybe since she's had a nibble, maybe she'll take a bite. There we go, and that was another look there for the leg. And now she tries a Hizaguruma or Sasai, I think it was.
And I think Thelma
Grabbed the leg.
Grab the leg.
Which would be an awful way to lose the final.
I think this can't happen anymore. Concerning that level. Yeah, the leg.
It's inexcusable.
No, it's inexcusable, exactly.
But at the same time, I mean, you're trained 10, 20 years grabbing the leg, and sometimes it's just in there, and at the worst possible moment it comes out.
But it isn't a new rule anymore, so...
So this morning, when we first arrived, the first person I saw on the tatami was Udaka in the middle, pretty much alone, doing ashiwaza, and she had this big black trainer jacket on and the hood down, and she was just trying to find her game, visualizing this moment. Unfortunately, we didn't see a big throw to finish it off to really make it a crowning achievement, but she did it.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are the highlights of the final.
Well, it wasn't the blistering final that we had hoped for, and in a way, you've got to be sorry for Thelma Montero with so many. There you go with the hand. There's no doubt about it. Montero was questioning why it was that she'd been given hand sokamake, but unfortunately, when you grab the leg, that's what you get.
In hindsight, I think Udaka was lucky not to have been nailed with passivity, considering how many attacks Montero had on her.
Well,
but they weren't real good quality attacks.
Here's the thing. You can go back over that contest and say how many of those could have been called false attacks. Four or five.
That's true.
She got away with 4 or 5 attacks that really, were not valid. And then that's what actually put her into the position in golden score,
right,
where she had attacked, and then one got called as a false attack. Right, we come now to the next category, the under 73 kilo category, the last of the categories for today. And the first of the bronze medal matches, Lee Young-jun of South Korea faces Viktor Skvortov of the United Arab Emirates. And coming out to support Lee is Chae Min-ho, Olympic champion from 2008 in the under 60 kilo category.
That's a nice man to have in your corner.
But most of the coaches from South Korea are former Olympic champions. You find that they get in the seat. The women's coach also here is a former Olympic champion. But they've got a few.
Well, it was Lee who took out Ono, so let's see if he can cash that in for a bronze medal. Taking on one of the last remaining seeds, right?
That's right. Just want to finish quickly on Thelma Montero in the previous gold medal match there. Five World Championship medals. None of them gold. 4 silver and 1 bronze.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I said that before, and I didn't realize how true it rang.
What a career she's had.
And she really looked good coming all the way up, She looked good all day, moving through those brackets.
Yeah, she managed to bang a few people over. She's got her style.
You wonder when you get to that point where there's so many second places, whether you start to put so much pressure on yourself. Am I finally going to break through this time? Well, unfortunately, not this time. For Udaka, she's been in the shadow of Matsumoto and Yamamoto Anzu and not so much Deguchi Krista, but, she's been the kind of underdog there, and it's nice to see her get something. Not just something, a world title. Back to this match, just the 1 penalty to white to Lee. Trying to look for the turnover there.
Couldn't keep control of Lee. Once he'd got him moving, wasn't really strong enough to put him onto his back and then put him under pressure. Might have another go here. Oh, that was it. I was going to say,
Yes.
it looks very similar to Shido against Lee.
That wasn't the best Stemiwaza anyway on the part of Lee. That looks bad. Blue drops down to a knee, puts his hand to the tummy. See, they're just fighting for position. Both of them sort of tearing out of grips, but no one really turning in yet. And we're going to see penalty dished out to someone or to both of them.
From time to time, David McFall talks in terms of something being a slow burner. This one, they failed to turn the gas on, I think.
Yeah, this is lukewarm at best.
There's no heat in it yet.
This kettle's going to take forever to boil. Well, I mean, we said the same in that final. I mean, we didn't see any big risk-taking moves between the two.
I expected Udaka to push the boat out a little bit more.
I was waiting for the Osolto, right?
And I never thought that Montero was going to go beyond the confines of her well-established and well-known game plan, which was get ahead early either by a score or getting your opponent a penalty and then make them find you somewhere on the mat as you throw in an attack here or there to take the contest. That was the game plan. It just didn't work out.
Yeah, Udaka did a lot more lively judo to get there, and then when she got there, she kind of played it safe.
Lucky to get the Shido to tie things up at the end, to take them into golden score, and then Montero forgetting that we were in 2014 and going back to, you know, the days when she first got her first World Championship medal and inadvertently getting the hand on the leg.
A fatal error.
Yeah.
Fatal and inexcusable.
Well, she's touching 30, so you know all of her judo was done in another era. She's had to get rid of those leg grabbing techniques, and into the golden score period maybe couldn't keep the concentration. It was, well, certainly lost concentration, and hand went to leg. We're going to have a little bit more time for this pair. Golden score between Lee and Skvortov.
Unfortunately, another scoreless golden score. Just the 2 penalties assessed to each judoka. Oh! That was the best look we had all day.
On the circuit, Skvortov has at times looked incredible. He smashed a few people during the last year or two. He really has looked terrific at times. And that's why he's so highly rated. He came in here as the number 4 seed.
Well, he almost caught Nakia Riki in their match with the exact same Dayashi Barai, but The problem is he doesn't have the two hands on this, you know, controlling the judo gi, so the guy goes down.
And he catches
But
him
they're
here.
there.
Bit by bit, he wore him down, didn't he? It took some time.
Was that the dashi barai?
We're going to have another look at here, and
The
we can
positioning, it looks like it was.
do our wazer identification. It's difficult when you only see where one is on the ground and one standing up. Can be almost anything. We'll have a look. I'm not going to call it until I see it.
I'm going to call it was the dashi barai. And
Well, he'd had a go earlier on, didn't he? So it's a reasonable
that's what I'm
shout.
thinking. And what I'm saying is I was just saying that he didn't have both hands controlling the judo gi, and I think he did this time.
Happy for him, Viktor Swartov. There'll be a couple of moments of celebration, and then we'll have a look at the winning technique.
No, it was a counter to Ochi. So what was it? An ashiwaza,
Yeah,
but not the one we were thinking of.
let's have
or
a
I
look
was
hit from
thinking.
here. Yeah, there's the loose Ouchi. You could say Kosotogaki he caught him with, couldn't you? It's a outer hook. He hasn't got the foot there to sweep the Diashi Barra. There it is. Yeah, Kosotogaki brings him
Well,
down.
it was a counter, right, to the look like an Ochi that Lee came in with?
Yeah, he
Is
goes
it-
left-sided
yeah,
Ouchi, right-sided Kosotogaki as the counter. That's
You
what
know-
brings him down.
The way I'm looking at his body language, I think Lee was using that as a feint to set something up going the wrong way.
Oh.
And
Sorry, I'm
he
sorry.
got
didn't-
faded
it
out of
didn't
his own
work, yeah.
pants right there. Looking at that again.
That was a bad move. I think I would have gone with the Ouchi.
Okay. You think I'm piecemealing this a bit too much?
Oh no, I think you're right. I think he could have been trying to set him up. It's just a bad choice.
Yeah.
Coming up next, the one that the home crowd are waiting for, expectant, in the hope that they can go home with some hardware. Musa Magushkov of Russia faces Yertugan Torinov of Kazakhstan. It'll be Magushkov in white and Torinov in blue. No medal yet for the Russians today. So this is it. And again, same as the last 2 days. A full house. It's a full house. You're going to pick out one or two athlete seats and the volunteers, but it's
Right.
full. Makarov prepares Magushkov.
Full house, engaged crowd. Good times.
Bronze medal match in the under 73 kilo category. Oh, good grip for Magushkov. Torinov.
Getting busy pretty quickly here.
Yeah, it was low. He just ducked underneath that and spun out of any problems. He's very popular in the Russian team, Magushkov. Nice movement there. Saw that coming early, just stepped aside. It's nice when you know that a player's sharp.
Turnoff made a stab at it. Yeah, looking for the big old Soto.
I wish I could do that.
The old Soto or the counter?
I'd have that kind of reaction. You know, I mean, there's such a high-class thing. There's the feel as somebody's body begins to take the shape for an attack, and you know where that's going, and you leave a space, and they just fill that space that you've left, and they disappear into it harmlessly, making it look. It's like bullfighter, and you know, you lift the whatever it is that the rag, the cape. I like that. Get cape. Move the cape, and they go harmlessly through.
As the crowd
Ole.
serenades with Ole and tosses roses from the balconies.
He looks nervous, doesn't he? I'm going to employ that one in the commentary next time when Magushkov sidesteps him, and I'll say, Ole. Oh,
let's just hope let's hope if he prevails that they don't give him the tail of the bull.
He's got this Kouchi, where it's really, really low, right-sided, and the foot comes in, and then he drops down for the Sutemiwaza. See if we have another look at it. He's on the wrong side.
So you reckon he's got a move or two?
Yeah, Magushkov has.
Well, right now he's kind of letting Turinov set the pace. He's been doing well at avoiding getting thrown, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting for his attack.
Yeah, he's got to be a little bit more active, I think, now, Magushkov. He doesn't want to give up a penalty here.
That would even things up.
Well, we're sitting here and we know it. Makarov must know it. He's going to try and convey that to Magushkov, but the only man that can do anything about it is Magushkov himself. Here he comes again.
Another attack by Turinov.
Is there enough of the foot in there to count as an attack? I don't think so. Oh, it's Turinov that gets called. Who did he point to there?
I don't know. Well, that's why Turinov getting called was kind of weird.
He pointed to Magushkov. Oh, okay.
Okay.
I saw him point to Turinov. But we'd been calling it a penalty for Magushkov anyway, so there it was eventually. There's the Koji. Now comes back for this Sumigaeshi.
There we go.
There's the combination.
The move.
Yeah. It's not bad.
No, it's switching direction. It's what you want to do.
He moves in with the first technique. Any combination, any good combination, is going to move you with the first technique, because it's that movement that unsettles you and sets up your opponent for the counter. Not the counter, the second part of the combination. When you want to execute a good combination, the first part has got to be real. If it's not, you've got no movement and you're trying to move them in another direction, not going to happen.
Turinov with another attack.
He's fought really well today, the Kazakh fighter.
Magushkov just kind of cartwheeling out of that one.
There he goes again. Now, there's a second part of this combination. Well, there's a second way that he does this, and he comes up with a score. See, the point is the first one's got to be real. And if it's real, you can score from it. So the danger for Turinov is to try and ignore the first part in expectation of having to defend the attempted Sumigaeshi. He didn't get off it. He never got off the Koji attack. It hung in there, hung in there, hung in there, hung in there. And he was trying to take him over. Magushkov with a Wazari on the board, and we're inside the last minute.
Oh, what a good attempt there. Turinov's not done yet.
Magushkov spun onto his front there. Spun onto his front by Turinov, I meant.
Right. and he's not going to sit there and fall for Tempo Gaeshi here.
I don't think that Magushkov had anything to do with avoiding this. It was... 30-odd seconds left to go. Magushkov, half a minute away from a bronze medal at the World Championships. at home. Oh, not there. Not the best of attacks from Torinov.
No,
And
just
call
slow
Mate
grinding.
here.
But that's just going to chew up the clock right there. Now 17 seconds left before this crowd erupts.
Time's run out, I'm afraid, for Torinov. Kazakh fighter gave it everything today, but in the end, when it came to the medal contest, Musa Magushkov proved to have that little bit more than the Kazakh fighter, and Magushkov for Russia takes a bronze medal in the under 73 kilo category.
Kazakhstan fans distressed.
I'm not sure what Torinov's not that happy with. Vladimir Nidka's given him a little bit of time to compose himself. Magushkov
Salutes the crowd.
salutes the crowd. Celebrates. Just waits for the decision here now. Nidka awards the contest. There's a hug and a pat for the Kazakh fighter. Magushkov, a little bit of celebration there.
We know
And
we want to be in.
He can run off and give Vitaly Makarov a hug. Every day the Russians have had something to celebrate, and they've been good wins for the Russians. There are no gimmies here. Going to talk about, you know, oh, they got this one and that one and that one. It's been good judo, and these are good quality players. Beslan Madranov, Kamal Khan Magomedov, Mikhail Pulyev, Natalia Kozyutina, and now Musa Magushkov. These are not people who just appeared out of nowhere. They've been around for a long time. They've all had good quality wins at international competitions, and they're here on their respective podiums on whatever days they've been on there by right in all those medal matches. They've done really well. What I think you've got here, because of course they're fighting at home, is this sprinkling of, you know, the edge.
The home field advantage.
You're at home, the crowd's cheering for you, you're hearing your own language, you're eating your own food, it's in your own time zone, well, for some of them. You know, all of those things must add up to an advantage. You walk around when you're relaxing, even the sweets and drinks that they're selling around and about in the shops, it's your stuff. You feel at home. You're in your comfort zone.
The only exception to your remarks, I would say, is I'm still shaking my head about some of the decisions with Takato.
We can go back and look at that in a hotel. You know, sit down and look at it. I mean, it'd be a good one to watch. That's always a good thing to do.
It's definitely a controversial
from,
match.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, absolutely. A lot of people have said that. A lot of people have said that, David. And what we should do is we should do the viewers at home a favour, look at it, and we can come back tomorrow. And those of you that are really interested, you know, we'll come back tomorrow and we'll talk through that after we've had a look at it.
We'll do a bit of post-mortem.
Yeah. Right, we come now to the final of the under 73 kilo category. Hong Kuk-hyun of North Korea faces Nakaya Riki of Japan. It's the current Asian champion facing the former world champion. It's Hong in the white judogi, Nakaya in blue, and what a thing for Nakaya Riki to be able to come back and have a chance of regaining the world title, not least of all because the current world champion is from Japan, he not bombed out, but he's not around. He's not even on the medal podium. So here is a nice bit of breathing space for Nakia Ricci, because he's the man in the driving seat if he can take this. If not, the spoils will go to Hong, and it'll be back-to-back gold medals for the North Koreans. Last year it was Sol Kyung in the under 78 kilo category. We'll see her in a couple of days, and it could be Hong to take it for the North Koreans here. We'll see. It'll all unfold within the next few minutes. Here's David McFall.
Well, you figure Hong takes this, he's a national hero. I mean, his
say.
family will be eating well for years.
Oh, that's harsh. That is harsh.
And for Nakia, for me, it's just the fact that, you know, how he lost last year, how he was carried out in a stretcher, and here he is, a chance to retake his title.
There are lots of theories as to how nerves play out, previous matchups and who's won what, and all sorts of things. But on the whole,
Hong is looking dangerous here.
on the whole, what I see is that someone like Nakia, he comes out and he just gets on with the job. He doesn't change his style, you know, his shape, everything. It looks the same. He doesn't look as though it phases him that he's fighting someone else.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, if you contrast him with Ono's got this sort of cockiness and an edge to him, and Nakia Ricci is just, yeah, he business as usual, calm, cool, confident. You know, even when he loses, he doesn't really appear to change a lot emotionally or whatever. I mean, I'm sure, you know, it hurts, but he doesn't manifest that thing physically. And it is Nakia who picks up the first penalty here.
The only thing that concerns me about Hong is his fitness level. Seen him a couple of times today begin to, you know, gas at 3:45, 4 minutes.
He looks pretty loose here, just the way he was bobbing his head a little bit and the way he's moving his arms. Like I said, I think, you know, it's funny, as each round goes, he looks more and more comfortable. And then his attacks become a little bit more aggressive.
Hasn't faced Nakia before. So a new prospect for both fighters here, and he picks up a penalty for an overly defensive posture, as does Nakia. So both fighters at that 2.5 minute mark deciding, hang on, I'm just going to take a bit of a break here and settle back. The guy had to be careful there. Just flirting with the below the belt blocking with the hand.
Nakia was behind by a penalty in the last match, and somewhere deep in the last minute he was able to come up with that Yuko. Certainly don't want this to come down to that again. The result would be nice, but definitely uncomfortable for the Japanese fans.
I just think that Nakaya's got enough firepower that when there's less resistance from Hong, Nakaya's going to have it and it will get past him.
There we go.
See, he couldn't turn him. you know,
It was a bit of an awkward Seoinage, but
as he was going over, Hong should have had enough in him to turn Nakaya away. He couldn't do. We're going to have a look at
Ladies and gentlemen, we kindly request you to stay with us for the awarding ceremonies.
We're going to have a look at the replay anyway, and we'll see just how that unfolded here. Oh, here
I
they're
think
going to
he
show us the
came
highlights
in,
first.
and then again some sort of sideways movement by Hong.
Yeah.
And then again he adjusted like he did in an earlier match. He comes in here, and Hong comes that way, and then he...
See, Hong wants to pull him across him.
Right.
He hasn't got the strength. There were 3.5 minutes into the contest. He hasn't got that kind of power anymore. Nakaya tries that early on when he's bobbing and weaving and he's ready for him, great. But here, he hasn't. He wants to pull him across him. He's blocked it there. This is another effort to pull him across, and Nakaya just lands on him.
Yep.
He hasn't got the power to pull that off. Couldn't bring him across his body. There was a really, really good chance for a counter there. Skvortov, for example, would have whacked Nakaya over here. Look, he's taking that technique
Right.
over. He just hasn't got the strength
kind
to
of,
do it.
It was like a counter to a counter, really.
Yeah, exactly. He hasn't got the strength to pull him over. You can see that the technique is finished here. When Hong plants this left leg, he says, hey, you're going over. No,
Nakai's,
I haven't
no.
got enough
Yep.
strength. Exactly. So, no, I'm not going there. You're going here. You know, because I'm stronger than you are. And he puts him on his back.
Because there really wasn't a lot of rotation from Nakaya coming into that Seoinage.
No. He gets blocked at first, but there's no power to bring off the counter. And then when things get really, really bad, which is, hey, I've got to get out of it. I can't. I'm going down, and there's no way out. Look, as far as a result for Hong is concerned, that's terrific. A silver medal at the World Championships, I think, is a terrific result for Hong, because we were talking about Matsumoto being ring rusty. This guy doesn't get out.
Yes.
Yes. He's been out to 1 or 2 World Cups or European Opens over a period of time, and probably 1 Grand Prix, and then the Asian Championships. That's it. Nakaya, it's different for him. He can go to Rio, he can go X, Y, Z, but that's a good performance from him. I think it's terrific, absolutely terrific for Nakaya when you look at the big picture and to think, got the second best, Ono takes over, he's the man in the driving seat, and all of a sudden, here he is. Right, let's go down to see the awarding ceremony in the under 57 kilo category. We'll come back to David McFall for more of his comments on the under 73 kilo category, because I've had mine. First of the bronze medals goes to Autumn Pavia of France, and then to Sanne Verhagen of the Netherlands. She'll smile in a minute, but for the time being, she looks a little bit
Pavia
down.
was grinning from ear to ear.
Yeah,
She got there, finally.
And the other thing is that she knocked off Rafaela Silva.
Yes.
To do that, beat the world champion to take a bronze medal. Okay, disappointed not to be in the final, but you take a bronze by beating the world champion. That's another silver medal for Telma Monteiro of Portugal, but the gold medal goes to Odaka Nae of Japan.
Look at that. I think she's going to lose it when they play the national anthem.
She's too happy, isn't she?
Yeah.
That she's got that kind of bubbly feel about her. A little bit like who was it that we saw the other day? Who was bubbly and
Kondo?
Kondo Ami. Yeah.
Well, I remember how emotional she was when she she took the Fukuoka selects, beating Yamamoto Anzu. So
Well, I'm just going to say something about Telma Montero. You can't win that many world championships, world championship medals, miss out on a gold, and not have sympathy from people who watch a lot of judo. And I'm genuinely sorry. I'm genuinely sorry that she couldn't do it for her. For her, I'm genuinely sorry. That's
when they came in the match, we said both of them, for different reasons, really, really wanted this one.
That's a lot of years, a lot of effort, an incredible amount of effort going in to, you know, trying to win a world championships and missing out time and time again.
And we're going to have the national anthem of Japan in just a second.
She spent the last 7 years trying to win a world championship gold medal.
It's tough. I guess I jumped the gun on the anthem for the flowers.
Rio, Rotterdam, Tokyo, Paris, and now here in Chelyabinsk. David was keen for the anthem, and here it is. Right, we're going to talk a little bit about the last final. That was Hong and Nakaya, and David's going to get a chance now to have a go at the Nakaya, the outcome for Nakaya. What's the not fallout, because fallout tends to be if you've had a loss. What do you think the result of this win for Nakaya is going to be?
Well, you know, in Fukuoka, Nakaya fought against Ono for the final, and it was one of the better finals of the day. And when Ono won that, it was kind of like, I'm the king of the hill. And it really, really, like I said, Nakaya doesn't really show his emotions that much, but I think everybody understood that it seemed like there was a changing of the guard. Well, Nakaya just announced, I'm back.
I'm back.
And I have the world championship. So it's going to be very interesting now as we get to this road toward Rio, who is going to come out on top in 2 years. And, you know, Nakaya is definitely older than Ono, but he's still got it.
Yeah.
And I think he still will in 2 years.
It could be that old adage, all bets are off. I'm back. You know, it's there, isn't it? Because he's put in a terrific performance here. And he's knocked off the Asian champion as well, which is a nice thing to do in your region. He's put that in there to boot.
Well, what's interesting is, I mean, you look at different weight classes, like, well, Takato owns 60. 66 is kind of wide open, even if you know the world champion. There's a lot of guys going at it. But this is one of those weight classes. It's kind of like 48 with the women for a while with Fukimi Asami. It's going to be Ono, Nakaya, and they're just going to go battle head to head. Yeah. And somebody isn't going to make that Rio team.
One of the pair.
And, you know, if you're Inoue Kosa in the Japanese coaching team, you got to look. This guy took the world championship. And
these are the people that he beat, and this is how he looked doing it. All of those things will come into it.
And it always comes down to Japan to two things. How do you look for the future, and what have you done for me lately?
Yeah. Right, let's go down and have a look at the awarding ceremony for the men's under 73 kilo category. Receiving his bronze medal, Musa Makushkov of Russia.
Very popular bronze medalist.
That's what the crowd waited for. There plenty of people have stayed in to see the Russian receiving his bronze medal. The other bronze medalist was Viktor Skvortov of the United Arab Emirates. And then the silver medal goes to Hong Kuk-kyun of North Korea.
Dr. Ricky with a smile and the wave.
But the gold medal goes to, as David McFall said, a happy and smiling and relaxed looking Nakaya Riki of Japan. His second gold medal at the World Championship.
Regaining the World Championship. You know, you have a taste of it, maybe you're younger, you didn't appreciate it as much, you get knocked out at Rio. Now, you're a little bit older, you get it, you really, really appreciate it. You know how hard it was to come back.
Well, he didn't come in here as one of the top seeds. So that would have protected him a little bit as far as the draw was concerned. He didn't need any protection. In fact, it was the others around him that needed some protection, and they were probably a little bit peeved that they ended up with someone of Nakaya's background in their half. Sagi Muki was in there, Dex Elmont, Lasha Shavdatuashvili, they all fell by the wayside. And in that half, Viktor Skvortov, Pierre Duprat, Hashpatar, Fulk, they all went. That was just in his half.
Well, I mean, you look at the seeding prior to this, and when you've got like Rainier seated fourth, you know, it's a little bit, the seeding is there, and they wouldn't let it, but it's, now I think you got this World Championships, you've got 2 years until Rio, now it's really, really, the money's on the table.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, all rise for the national anthem of Japan.
Okay, we'll go one more time for the national anthem of Japan. Right, well, we've spoken a bit already about how important this could be for Nakaya Riki. A little bit of speculation, of course, but we can also now go back to Udaka Nae and see how important it is for her, because she does look the part. I mean, you know, you win a World Championships and everybody was here. In that under 57 kilo category, everybody was here, including one of her teammates, Matsumoto Kaori, who went out early.
Not just a teammate, I mean, she's the star. She is the only current Olympic champion on the Japanese team.
And Udaka finishes on top of the category in which Matsumoto was competing today. So, you know, as far as the bragging rights are concerned, that they're strongly with Udaka at the moment, I'd say.
This is really going to shake some things up, I think, because if Matsumoto doesn't get her act together in the next year, she's going to find herself probably not at next year's World Championship, because she's just not producing. And you may find Udaka and Yamamoto Anzu, or Udaka and Deguchi Christie, or Krista, or something like that.
I agree with you. I can't see. I mean, other teams would do it because they just don't have anyone to fall back on. But I can't see the Japanese sending someone again and again who's not even medaling. That's completely different. They medal, they hit a bronze medal spot or something. That's the minimum that they're going to expect from them. You go and you fail to medal, you're not going again.
And I hate to say it, but the same fate might be with Hashimoto Yuki.
That was in the back of my mind, actually. You know, she's a good fighter, but there are others there who are begging for a spot.
Now, she's lucky that her weight division doesn't have the depth that 57 has. And so maybe she'll get the nod. But, you know, she went to Rio, she came here and came away with nothing as far as the individual. She did well on the teams in Rio, and I think she'll do pretty well on the teams here. But, you know.
Yeah, she did in Rio as well with the teams, yeah.
So we'll have to see.
Well, so that's 2 bites at the cherry. Bronze medal last time round in Rio.
Who's that?
Hashimoto Yuki.
Yes.
And then zip here. So
team medal, if she can get bronze or better, we'll see. But zip for individuals, that's really got to put a question in the coaching staff's mind, you know. And the thing is this, if you're looking toward Rio next year, don't you want someone else with some seasoning of going to a World Championships before they go to the Olympics?
And that's why I was talking about sending both Yamamoto Anzu and Deguchi Krista to these events alongside either Matsumoto or Udaka. So you've got a really nice spread when you come to do your choice. But you highlighted quite rightly the lack of depth there at 52. They haven't got the luxury of people of that quality, because you could have sent Yamamoto and Deguchi here and you may have had the same result. You may have had, you know, one going into the final, maybe one taking it, maybe one blowing out, or you could have had an all-Japan final. They're that good. They've got that kind of quality. You're not going to get that 52.
Well, that's what I'm saying. At 52, if Hashimoto is not producing, well, then they've got to get somebody out there, somebody else out there quickly. And that means for the next World Championships. And we're going to look forward to I think the Tokyo Grand Slam. Whoever tops that, if Hashimoto doesn't win that, may be the next pick for the World Championships.
Okay, we're going to have a roundup of all today's action online for you a little bit later on. I believe that there may be a preview up there already. But from David McFall, Annette Berm, and all the broadcast team here, it's bye-bye for now. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Bye-bye.
Take care.